Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square here with T-Square Talk. So I got a great video planned out for you guys today. I'm going to be doing it on the computer so you guys can kind of see some of the stuff that I'm looking at. I don't often do this on the computer unless I'm actually showing you guys some numbers or some statistics or different stuff like that. Usually I'm kind of just talking about a subject and showing you guys silver. Everybody wants to look at silver, and so I always have some silver on the desk, and then I just kind of talk a little bit about a topic that I think is important or that I think someone has asked and wants to get an answer. So today I'm actually doing something called the gold-silver ratio. We're going to be talking a little bit about that today. A lot of people, well, actually, I'm going to do two things, I guess you can say, because I'm also going to talk about the gold-silver ratio, but then I'm also going to talk to you about something many of you probably don't even know, that how a lot of bullion companies will actually cheat you, and you won't even know it. And I find it so funny because I've actually had people ask me that. And I've even had coin shops when I've walked in, or pawn shops, and they pick and choose. They show me the price of it on a website, and yeah, this is a big name website maybe, and I'm like, okay, well, if I show you a website where it's cheaper, can I get it for cheaper? And they're like, what do you mean? I said, you can pick and choose all day, but if you know what you're talking about, then you know how to beat these little games that a lot of places will play. You guys know I'm against the system all the way around, pretty much. I talk about a lot of stuff. I'm not big on endorsements. Are there some companies that I have endorsed in the past? Of course. I mean, I don't really endorse them. It's just if they run a lot of deals, I tell you guys, pick up the deals. In my opinion, you really can't go wrong picking up silver at spot or silver at low premiums. I'm about stacking. I want to get the most ounces. I want to put up the most money for the coming crash, because I believe things are going to get ugly, and a lot of people are going to not really understand what's going on, and a lot of people are going to fall by the wayside. So with that being said, so I'm going to cover a couple different topics tonight again, or this morning I should say, and you guys, if you have any topics that you'd like to hear about, leave a comment, because these are comment questions that I'm trying to answer. And one of the big questions is gold-silver ratio. Can you explain why you think gold to silver ratio at 80 you would only buy silver? And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today, and then we'll get into a couple other things too. I might even actually get into the couple other things first, but we'll jump over and let's start taking a look at how I have it all planned out. Right off the bat, I got to say, if you enjoyed today's video, take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button for me. It really helps me out. Subscribe to the channel. If there's a video that you really like, go ahead and share it on your social media. If you have Facebook or something and you feel comfortable sharing it, share it. Send it to a friend maybe. Maybe you're talking to someone about why you think silver and gold is a good investment. And it's easier just to say, hey, I seen this whack job talking about gold and silver. What do you think about that? Can you let me know your thoughts on it? And they watch the video, and who knows, maybe they'll subscribe, tell you their thoughts, and go from there. So a lot of great videos for you to check out, and I thank everybody for watching, commenting, subscribing, and if you're a member, I can't thank you enough for becoming a member. It is only $1.99 to become a member. We give away cool prizes every month. You have a shot at winning something really nice, so it's worth it. Jumping right in, though, I want to first talk about... First thing, I'm going to talk a little bit about prices. What's up with prices? You got gold right now. We got gold trading at $2,632.20. Now, I'm going to close this out right off because we're going to get away from gold real quick, and you will understand why by the end of the video. Right off the bat, though, I wanted to pull up a couple charts because I had someone question yesterday's video or the day before about how I came up with that number on the price. So prices vary. Depending on what website you use, you will find a wide range of prices. And I'm going to explain why here in just a minute. So right off the bat, I'm on Kitco. Kitco has silver at $29.54. Now I'm going to jump over to Universal Coin and Bullion. This is a company that I've used a lot in the past. I've bought a lot of stuff from them. They've got spot price right now at $29.67. So, I mean, when you just look at these two prices, 54 to 67. That's a 13 cents increase. Now, 13 cents, if you're buying an ounce, probably is not a big deal. And I apologize if you can hear my dogs in the background because I can't pause it when they're sitting there getting a little riled up. I can't really pause when I'm pre-recording a video like this. But that's a 13-cent difference. And here's the thing, 29.67. We're going to keep going. We're going to look at a few other ones. Look at this. 29.82. Now, I opened all these windows at the same time, so if I refreshed them, then you would have a different, you might see it move by a penny. But even me sitting here talking for a second, I assure you, silver did not go up 25 cents in the few seconds that I've been talking. But now you're at 29.82 on AppMax. So AppMax 22.89 versus 54 and 89. Now you're talking a 35-cent difference. They're not going to tell you that. 35 cents still may not seem like a lot, but it does start to add up. Moving down the line, we'll go to JM Bullion. This is a big company. Everybody's heard of JM Bullion. I would probably say, some people would argue and say AppMax is the most well-known. I would actually say JM Bullion is the most well-known because a lot of YouTubers talk about JM Bullion. They like JM Bullion, and you know, hey, I'm not gonna lie, they run some great deals sometimes, and so I pick up when I see a deal anywhere, I pick it up. But you take a look at their spot price right now, and their spot price is $29.83. So 83 from 54. Now you're talking 29 cents, and we're gonna go all the way to the actual futures price right now, which is $29.96. Now, futures price is usually determined by where they see silver going. So they're seeing silver starting to work their way up. This is based off future contracts that are going in for silver, and they predict that silver will go up. Now, I also believe silver will go up, but not also for the same exact reasons that they're saying. We've talked about that. They're going to speculate a little bit more because, remember, these are futures traders. They're buying huge amounts of contracts, and essentially they either have to pay the short positions or they've got to end up basically either paying the short positions or collect the profits, whatever it is, depending on what happens. So right off, you can see the huge range in prices when it comes to silver. So I say that because it's important that you know where the best prices are on the upside and you know where the best prices are on the downside. A lot of times, if I'm buying something off someone, they may want to pull up a website that has a higher price. And the reason they do that is so that way they can convince you why you buying this off them is a good deal. But I always pull up Kitco and I tell them, and I'm not endorsing Kitco by any means. I'm just saying I like Kitco when I'm buying, and I'll be honest, if someone tells me, if I'm selling someone something and they tell me check out AppMax, see what it's going for, I'm more than happy to pull up AppMax or whatever, anything, you know. So you have to understand these different prices. By me doing this video, though, I'm not endorsing any companies. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying there is a wide range of prices, especially it makes a big difference when you're going to buy a lot of ounces. So, and by a lot, I mean even 10 ounces. I mean, if I can save $5, I'll save it. I'm not greedy, but I try to save every penny. I work hard for my money. Moving on, though, today we're going to talk a lot about gold to silver ratio because it's a common thing that a common question. A lot of people are like, why do you think the gold to silver ratio right now? How do you determine what to buy? Because one day you're saying, I'm buying gold. A week later, you might be buying silver. Now, I look at premiums. Obviously, that's a big factor. How much of a premium is there on the item? If I go to a local coin store and they're having a lot of low premium deals, then obviously I'm going to go for that. If that might be in silver, that might be in gold. It depends on what a lot of people are selling back to them. I mean, I had seen some gold stuff the other day that had a really low premium on it, and I almost picked it up, but I'm trying to hold back a little bit because I am working on remodeling my house a little bit right now, and so I kind of want to cut back on spending. I've noticed I spend a lot of money on gold and silver. I mean, it adds up. And I'm sure those of you that have been stacking understand that stacking adds up. It's an addiction, but it might be considered a positive addiction. Some people will agree with that. Some people will disagree with that. But it is putting away money for the long term. And ever since I've gotten into silver and gold, I have found that it's a whole lot easier for me to save money and get ahead than it was when I was just frivolously spending cash on every crazy little thing out of the blue. Now, with that being said, gold to silver. Right off the bat, this is a 100-year chart on gold to silver. And right now, as you can see, we are pretty much at, it's saying 84 to 1 roughly. And you can see it has big swings. Obviously, when you have a really high gold to silver ratio, that means that you could trade essentially a lot of ounces of silver for a few ounces of gold. And some people will utilize this by wanting to pick up more silver because it's a better buy. And when it goes really low, like it did down here, then at that point they want to buy gold. Now, a lot of people have this belief that we could see a 1-to-1 gold-silver ratio someday. And they base that off of the fact that more silver gets used up than ever before. We are burning silver. We're not recycling it. We just use it, burn it, throw it. It's cheap. Who cares? And then on top of that, we have gold, though, on the other hand, we use it a little bit, but usually they try to recycle out gold. And so a lot of gold gets saved. So even though it comes out of the ground at a certain ratio, we'll get into that in a minute. We'll get into it now, I guess. You have silver estimated to come out of the ground anywhere from 7 ounces coming out of the ground for every 1 ounce of gold, all the way up to 15 ounces of silver for every 1 ounce of gold. That's going to depend on where you get your numbers from. If you go to like the U.S. Geology website, then you'll get one set of numbers. If you go to a mining website, you might get another set of numbers. If you go to the core crust of the earth surveys, you might get a whole nother set of numbers. Now, obviously, you want the most for your money. You want to spend your money wisely. You want the biggest gains. A lot of people have asked me, what is a good ratio then? Okay, so I'm going to take, if right now we're at 85, I want you to draw an imaginary line across the top and see how many times it has been over 85. I mean, the higher it goes, the more likely it's going to swing the other way. The lower it goes, the more likely it's going to swing the other way. You can see in this chart the way it goes so low, and then all of a sudden it breaks and then just skyrockets to the other end of the spectrum until it gets so high that it forces it back down. Now, these little gray lines, I got to say, these are recessions. These are economic downturns, whether it be the 1929 Great Depression all the way up to the 2008 recession, bank bailout, whatever you want to call it. And then magically, we haven't had a recession in a long time because the economy is so great. But that's for a whole nother video. As you can see, there are no shaded lines anytime since 2008. Everything is magical and going great, really. But that's an opinion for another video again. They'll later put the lines in, I think, when they look back at the data. But who knows if they can even go back and change data properly and reflect it in the charts, because one, the numbers I'm not even convinced are coming out real, but all we can do is look at what's going on and the data that we're given. So when I look at this chart, obviously there's some really lows. You know, we had a 17 to 1 here. We had that should be a 10 to 1 somewhere here. It's going to be hard to get it dead on. 15 to 1. I don't know if I should have said the D word, but we got a couple 15 to 1s. There might have been a very short time where they had a 10 to 1 because there was recorded in history that there was a 10 to 1, but we're not going to get into too much speculation. You can see as it comes down to an extreme, it's quick to correct. Comes down to an extreme, it doesn't last long. There's a small window to catch those deals. That's what I call the overshooting. If you manipulate the price down, when it corrects, it's going to overshoot like the beach ball in the water that I tell you guys. It doesn't stay in the air for long, but it does overshoot. Well, the same thing, when the price goes up too high and the gold silver ratio has such a drastic high number, it usually comes down. And it's not going to be held down for super long. So if you're looking to try to trade this gold silver ratio, you have to find numbers and then slowly ease into it. Now, I'm going to tell you what my plan is right here. So here right now we're at about 84 to 1 roughly at this current time. We are getting high. Could it go higher? Absolutely. I remember when it was 120s. I remember this. It's showing 114 on this chart, but it was actually 122, I believe, when it actually happened. And you can't zoom in on one specific day exactly because the chart would just be too crazy. And they usually use the closing times of each day. So even though silver moves, I've seen swings where silver go down $2, but it didn't register. Why? Because they only register closing prices afterwards. So you can see when it goes up too high, obviously it's got to swing the other way. It's not a guarantee. It could keep going up. I mean, whoever had it here when this chart first started, let's say, could have been like 40 to 1. I'm dumping all my silver right now, or I'm buying all silver right now, and then all of a sudden it keeps going up, and now they're up 71. And 88, 90 to 1, 100 to 1, you know. And then when it comes down, where will you catch it? That's the thing. So the question is, where would I make my choice? So at 80 to 1, I'm still after silver. Do I pick up gold once in a while today? Absolutely. If I find someone selling gold at spot price and I can afford it at the time, then I'll buy it. Over spot right now, if it's even like a 5% spot on silver, 5% spot on gold, then essentially I want silver. Why? Because the gold-silver ratio is high right now. As we move down, take a look at the bulk that we see here. How much space, how many times is it over the 85 to 1? Not a lot of this chart is over 85 to 1. But let's say we come down to 71 to 1. I mean, we see some, but still not a lot. 60 to 1? I mean, now 60 to 1, you have a fair amount over. But I think 60 to 1 is still a little off. Hey, keep it down over there. Sorry, guys. My dogs get a little riled up sometime, and then they start nibbling on each other. So, okay, so where was I? So 60 to 1 still is not a ton, but there's a lot more. Now, you get down to 50 to 1, obviously we're moving in the down direction at that point. Now, the question where I would trade out at. At 60 to 1, I would be willing to trade some of my silver for gold. Now, is 60 to 1 a great ratio? It's not great, but how many times has it been over 60 to 1 and then all of a sudden pop back up again? You know, if we're too high up, then obviously I want to put everything I have in silver. But as we start coming down, gold looks pretty appealing. Now at 60 to 1, if I was to trade, we'll say 10% of my stack into gold, gold is a store of wealth, so ain't silver. But traditionally, gold has always held value, I guess you can say. Silver has a lot of speculation to it. I know some people don't like to hear that because that's not what most YouTubers are going to tell you, because it's not glamorous. If you try to tell someone that silver is not volatile, you're kind of lying a little bit, because silver has big moves and it corrects big time. When prices skyrocket on silver, you can literally see the price of silver. Let me see if I can pull up Kitco's usually really good. And this is another reason I like Kitco. Kitco shows usually the long. You can go way out with their charts. Let's look at an all chart. I mean, look at the volatility of how quick it can plunge. It goes up and then plunges. How quick that moves. Gold is kind of a little more stable. You have a little more time to make deals, to move around money, that type of stuff. But there again, you also have to calculate how many dollars are in the system, how much money's in the system. Because I know when I hear people look at these numbers, they're like, well, if I look at that, that's telling me that silver is really overpriced, because there's only been a couple more times in history where it has beat the price that it's at now. And that's true, but we also have a lot more money in the system than we've ever had during these times. I mean, think back in 1980, silver got up to $50, but think about what $50 got you. How much, think about it, how much you could buy with $50. Now, $50, you're lucky if you can go out on a date for $50. I'm cheap, and I don't think I can do it for under 50. Maybe, but it'd be tough. I guess if I cook at home and I watch a movie at home and bring her here, but generally you can't even go on a date now for $50. It's tough. And then you look over in 2011, same case. But see, what happened was in 2011, that's when they had to, you had all your big money start rolling out into the system. You had the bank bailouts. And as time went on, now, look at how much money we have accumulated now. The next time we see it pop, we're going to see it pop. And I really think that right now, if you're looking at this chart right here, you can see where we're at $30 roughly. I think we're basically like where we were in 76, 77, 78, 79 maybe. And we're about ready to see the big run up. Now, it's going to be exciting because there's a lot more money in the system, which means $50 is not even going to do it justice. So I think there's going to be a lot of people that lose out when silver hits $50. They're going to be like, I'm selling. I wouldn't. Would I sell some? I always get asked sometimes, would I sell a little bit of my precious metals for the right amount of money? I would only sell precious metals if I'm putting the money to something else that I want. A new vehicle, and don't get me wrong, I would even try to trade precious metals, because during 2011, like I told someone tonight in the comments, people were buying ounces of silver at spot price, $50. It was hard to find, but there were people selling because they wanted to dump it. They thought $50 was high. But American Silver Eagles, they were selling for $80. And, that's a big premium when you think about it. So I know I got some subscribers that really swear by American Silver Eagles. They're a firm believer in them, and they tease me to where I'm buying generic. I'm even buying 40% silver halves. I get teased about that sometimes, but that's okay. It's all silver in my opinion. Do I want to put my whole collection into Eagles? No. Do I want to put my whole collection into 40%? No. I try to be diverse because, as you've seen in the past, items can skyrocket, and for a short while, some good sales pitch. There was one that I watched a while back that he was telling all of his subscribers, go out and buy 90%. And even at $8 a quarter, 90% quarters were a steal because they're not making anymore. There's limited amounts of them. They're barterable. And to a point, he's right. They are. But at a certain point, it's overbought. Why would I want to pay that much? If I'm going to spend that much, I might as well just buy Eagles. I might as well just buy pure silver. Why 90%? Oh, well, you can break this up easy. Okay. If it gets ugly, you can pull out a torch, a bucket of ice water, and any size bar and sit there and start melting it into droplets. And they will sell. People have ways of testing them. In fact, a droplet I would trust a lot more than I would trust a 100-ounce bar. Why? Because those droplets, I could sit there and test every one with a little acid and know exactly what I've got. I couldn't use the Sigma on it, but it's easy to put a little tungsten weight in the middle of a 100-ounce bar and just hide it. So with that being said, since we are talking mostly gold-silver ratio, at 60-1, I might trade some, but I won't go heavy. At 50-1, I'll trade some more. At 40-1, I'm going to trade more. At 30-1, I would probably dump half of whatever I have left at 30-1. Put it all on gold. And if you're lucky enough to catch 20-1, I would have no silver. I hate to say it. Some people would disagree with that, but at that point, just like right now, it is an incredible opportunity to buy silver. I think that if we saw a 20-to-1 ratio, that would be an incredible opportunity on gold. And could it go lower? It could. It could. But at a certain point, you have to weigh the odds. I'm a statistics person. A lot of people laugh at me because I'm calculating odds of probabilities of stuff happening. You guys know I do play poker a lot. I like to gamble. And I'm very statistical. When I shoot dice with friends and people are like, hey, I'll bet you he don't hit an 11. And will you put money on 11? No, because statistically, an 11 is not likely. Hey, can someone get lucky? Of course someone can. But if you know anything about dice, the probability is a 7. When you count down the numbers, there's like 36 different ways to make 7 with 2 die. And as you start moving away from that, you have X amount of combinations for, and I don't remember the exact numbers. So when I say 36, I don't know if there was a total of 36 different combinations between the two. It's been a while since I played because none of the friends I hang out with now play dice. This was mostly when I worked offshore. A lot of us shot dice. But you have more ways to make the 7. And as you go down the line to 6 and 8, you have less ways. As you go down the line to 5 and 9, you have less ways. 4 and 10, all the way down to 2 and 6, 2 and 12. 2 and 12 is highly unlikely you're going to roll a 2 or a 12. So I'm playing the odds when I say this. And right now, the odds are pointing that silver is looking really good. We're going to have a big breakout. And generally what happens is as the price of silver goes up, it goes up larger amounts and faster. And then gold will inch up slowly. A lot of people don't talk about that much, but you'll see the price of silver go up by 5% in one day, and you'll see gold go up by 2.5% in one day. And what that's doing is that's pushing that number down. And then when it starts swinging the other way, you have silver falling by $2 in one day, or 4% drop in one day, and then gold only dropping 2% in one day. And as that happens, that's what moves the gold-silver ratio. So right now, it's an incredible opportunity, I believe, to be stacking silver. I'm stacking silver as much as I can, but you have to factor in the premiums. You have to factor in how much extra you're paying for that to be able to buy that physical silver. The premiums, is there premiums on gold? Of course there is, but is it as much? So I weigh a lot of those different things, and as you do, you start to realize, hey, silver is the no-brainer right now. And sometimes you can find deals on it, sometimes you can't. Sometimes people run into friends. I actually have been having a lot of people right now that know me personally, even some people that don't know me, texting me, hey, I found some silver at $30 an ounce. Do you want to buy some? Right now, I'll be honest, for me, because I'm remodeling my house, money's a little tight. However, that's why you don't see the package openings right now as many. Remember when I was doing package openings every other day? I mean, a lot of people realize, they're like, man, how much? That's all he does is package openings. Yeah. Well, now I don't have as much money to be pouring tons into it. I haven't been buying a lot. And so obviously I do more videos, and I try to answer y'all's comments. So if you have a comment that you'd like to hear about, please go ahead and let me know what that comment is, and that way I can answer it to the best of my ability. And it doesn't matter what the question is. It can be anything. The other night I said that, and someone's like, Coke or Pepsi? I'm a Diet Coke drinker, for those of you that don't know, but I'll answer anything. So put it in the comments below if you'd like to get an answer, especially if it's a short question, short and to the point, because I can just jot it down in my little notebook real quick, and then I usually get around to it within a week or two, depending on how many people do it. So usually it's pretty fast. I mean, this gold-silver ratio question came up 3 days ago, I think, in the comments, and so I'm answering it now. So I'm always looking for video topic ideas, and usually I try to get questions that you guys like. So with that being said, I thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have not taken a minute to hit the thumbs up button, please do so. I know sometimes it's easy to forget, but if you made it this long, you've enjoyed the video, or you wouldn't be here that long. It would shock me, but it is possible, I guess. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to become a member, like I said, it's only $1.99 to become a member. You can click the join button below and become a member and have a shot at winning something cool. We do special events for our members every month. Your comments go right to my phone, so they always get answered, and just a lot of overall perks. So thank you all for watching. I hope to see you guys again on T-Square Talk, and I hope you all have a great day. Take care, everybody, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.